Welcome back to the Full Tilt Recordings YouTube channel. Today we're continuing on our last tutorial. This is part 2 of how to mix vocals. So we're going to be taking a vocal sounding like this.
One more chance to put it right.
And we're going to make it sound like this.
I see you and I see truth.
We're going to be using Deirdre McLaughlin's Ethereal Trance vocal pack, which is out now in the Full Tilt Recording store. We'll put a link to that in the description of this video. So yeah, if you like what you hear, it certainly supports what we're doing here. As I said, we're continuing on from our previous tutorial, which looked at sort of EQ and compression on treating the vocals. So we're mainly working with the dynamics. Today we're going to have a little look at mainly kind of reverbs, delays, how I set them up, chorus effects also. So yeah, really excited to show you guys my techniques. You know, this is how I would treat vocals for maybe trance tracks, progressive house tracks, melodic techno tracks. You know, the technique is generally the same for them all. A lot of it kind of boils down to, you know, how much of the actual effect that you're actually dialing in. You know, if it is a big trance track, you know, we might be, you know, cranking up that reverb a little more, making it a bit more spacey. You might tend to dial it back a little bit more in a progressive track. But generally, like, these processes are the same. As I say, it's how much you actually add of each effect. So yeah, I'm good to go. Time to get under the bonnet and have a look. Here we go. Okay, first things first, I'm going to set up a little small room reverb. We'll use the Valhalla. Medium room should be fine.
And we will pray.
So yeah, I've just got this set up over in an effect sends. So I'm just going to send it from here over to our small room reverb. The way I like to use these, I like to just whack up the send full blast, and then what I can do is I can adjust my levels here, the actual fader for the level of the reverb, which I think is quite handy. Instead of kind of footering about, because sometimes these sends, as you can see there, they're a little bit small, a little bit footery, whereas here you've kind of got a full fader to work with, which is kind of handy.
Another soldier standing tall.
Okay, so this is just to add a little sort of room ambience, more so than anything.
Who will take the fall? Another day turns into.
Usually when I'm using this type of EQ as well, I'll do a little high pass on it. I'll take it right up there to about 400 or 500, I would say.
Tonight, we're searching for the light.
Hey, lovely.
One more chance to put it right. We can make it through the night.
Yeah, that's really nice actually. The next thing that I usually put in, it's a thing from Sound Toys. A plugin from them called Microshift. I really like this plugin as well. Nearly every vocal that I use, that I mix, I use the Microshift on. So yeah, here we go. That's the little bad boy there. And I'm just going to send it to... Right, there's a nice little, I love this lead vocal clarity, I should say. I love that setting on it. I'm just going to again I'm cranking all these plugins up to 100% because they're actually getting sent out to an effects unit. So basically I've got a fader then that I can actually mix in the right amount of each effect that I want with the vocal.
Back to life, and we will fight at the dawning of the day.
Yeah, it's just like a vocal double or thicker, sort of like a double tracking. So yeah, for me, that's obviously a little bit too much. So I'm just going to mix that in now, the vocal.
Another soldier standing tall.
Usually pull the fader back and away we go.
Who will take the fall? Another day turns into night. We're searching for the light.
Again, with most of these things, I wanted to be noticeable, but not too noticeable.
One more chance to put it right. We can make it through the night. Bring me back to life.
So yeah, it's just adding that little bit of thickness to the overall sound. Again, anything more than that, I think I'm into very noticeable, making the vocal sound fake. So I'm still trying to look for, like, you know, a natural sounding vocal when I'm doing this.
And we will fight at the dawn.
Okay, time for the fun one. Let's look for, we need a big reverb now. I love the Valhalla vintage Verb. It just works, so it does. It sounds absolutely fantastic. There's actually a really good setting here I use quite a lot. This amazing vocal preset. It's just a good starting point, really. Generally, I keep it on the 80s color.
Another soldier standing tall.
We need to send that to it.
Who will take the fall? Another day turns into night.
Okay, I'm just sending that to the big reverb now, and here we go.
Another soldier standing.
Right. So just different ways that I would tweak this. The plates are usually, the smooth plate here usually sounds really, really good, but for this type of track, I might just increase the decay because it's a trancier feel and it's a little bit spacey sounding. So
tall, who will take the fall? Another day turns into night. We're searching for the light. One more chance to put it.
Okay, I'm cranking that right up to nearly 10 seconds there. It's just over 9 seconds. But I think it sounds great on it.
Another soul.
I'll just click onto the chorus part here.
Tomorrow lights away.
Right, so as it stands, I want that big reverb sound, but I actually want it tamed a little bit. So what I'm going to do is get my EQ. I have an EQ setting on here. I generally roll off anything 600 hertz and below, cut it off. And again, sometimes, because I've heard mixes before with people, you know, they don't do a low pass on the actual EQ on the reverb, and sometimes it's just a little bit harsh, the whole thing.
And we may fall and falter through the gates. I see you, and I see.
Basically, we're just creating just that little bit of space for the actual reverb to sit. Because other than that, you know, if you're putting on a big long reverb like that, it's definitely going to be eating up a lot of the space. So that is a way of sort of getting away with a bigger reverb.
Another soldier standing tall, who will take the fall? Another day turns into night. We're searching.
Okay, that's pretty cool. Right, another technique that I use on my reverbs, and it's basically to duck the actual reverb whenever, it's basically turn down the reverb a little bit whenever the vocal's singing. It adds a little bit more clarity to it. So I'm going to basically bust the vocal to a sidechain on a compressor, so it'll actually turn it down when the vocal's happening. I do this in pretty much every track. So after my reverb, I'm going to put in Pro C. And what we're going to do is we're going to activate the sidechain input here. And we need to send it from the vocal track and my sidechain input. Turn it on.
In for the light. One more chance to put it right. We can make it.
Right, I'm just going to do this extremes to hear what's happening. So basically, anytime the vocal singing is turning down the reverb.
The night, bring me back to life.
Right, so that's probably the most obvious example of how it actually works there. I'm not going to do it that bad. I'm going to actually turn off the auto gain and stick on an auto release just to see how it responds to it.
Another soldier standing tall, who will take the fall? Another day turns into night. We're searching for the light. One more chance to put it right. We can make it through the night.
Okay, I think that's aggressive enough on it without being overly.
Bring me back to.
Just giving it brings out the vocal a bit more and gives a bit more clarity. Just pull out that reverb till we hear it. Okay, that's sounding pretty good. The last piece of this puzzle here for me will be a little delay, which I think would sound pretty cool as well. So generally, one of my favorite delays is the Echo Boy. So I'm just going to go over and see if I can find it here. Echo Boy Junior, actually. I just really like the Junior. It's really easy to use. It sounds brilliant and does exactly what it says in the tin. Don't forget to turn your mix up 100%. For this type of vocal, I'm going to try and get a long enough kind of delay. So I think maybe something in around a quarter, setting it up on a ping pong, and I really like this cheap tape setting. I think it sounds pretty cool.
Another soldier standing tall.
Okay, let's actually, I forgot to send that out here. Here we go, and that goes here. So I'm sending that out. Same thing out to my Echo Boy. Right, let's get a listen again there on the quarter note down.
Another soldier standing tall.
Turn it up.
Who will take the fall? Another day turns into night.
Yeah, let's get a look at the EQ on this as well. I'm going to do the exact same thing that I did with the reverb and get a little pocket for this, roughly in and around the same bracket. So tend to cut a little bit of the highs and cut out plenty of the lows. So basically I'm sitting there around 500 hertz, and here I'm sitting about 7k.
Fight at the dawning of the day, and we will pray that tomorrow.
I'm just going to show you like sort of feedback. So that's sort of how many repeats there is going to be and how long it's going to last. I try and sort of find roughly where those gaps are, and sort of to have it well tapered off before the vocal actually comes in again.
Another soldier standing tall, who will take the fall? Another day turns into night. We're searching for the light. One more chance to put it right. We can make it through.
Okay, that's not bad. It sounds pretty cool.
Bring me back to life.
Okay, the other thing that I do use here is the exact same thing as the reverb channel. So I'm going to actually duck it when the vocal, because you see it gets a little bit messy in there, especially if you just want to turn up a little bit louder. So we're kind of going to do the opposite. We're going to turn it down first. So here. And just turn this on. Here we go.
And we will pray that tomorrow lights our way.
Right, I'm just going to mute all the rest of the effects for a second so you can hear again what this is doing.
Another soldier standing tall, who will take the fall? Another.
So there, it's a really good example of how this actually works. You can hear whenever the vocal's hitting, it's turning that delay right down, and then when the vocal stops, the delay pops back out again.
Day turns into night.
So you can see here, this is the amount that I'm turning this down by.
We're searching for the light.
So yeah, we don't really need that much. So I'm going to dial back the threshold until I kind of get it sitting somewhere where I like it.
One more chance to
Click an auto release on as well.
We can make it through the night. Bring me back to life, and we will fight at the dawning.
Okay, I think that's sitting really nice.
And we will pray that tomorrow lights our way, and we may fall.
So even in those gaps, you can hear it popping out and ducking back down again, which I think is really, really cool. Right. Let's add in everything else. I think that delay is way too loud now, so I'm actually just, again, this is the joy of having the faders. I'm just going to And what I'm actually going to do, I'm actually going to send a little bit of this into the reverb as well. Okay, here we go.
Another soldier standing tall, who will take the fall? Another day turns into night. We're searching for the light. One more chance.
I think I'm hitting it a little bit hard here. I'm just going to pull it back a little bit.
Make it through the night. Bring me back to life.
A wee bit back on this one as well.
Light at the dawning of the day, and we will pray that tomorrow.
Let's increase the level of the delay slightly. I think we can take up the reverb now a little bit.
I see you, and I see true.
Okay, so I think overall that vocal has finally kind of come round for us. What I'm going to do, just to let you hear now, everything that we've done from the last effects that we put on there.
Another soldier standing tall.
So this is basically
another day turns into night.
So basically that's the vocal with absolutely nothing on.
One more chance to put it right.
All processing on now.
Take it through the night. Bring me back.
Setting it nice in the mix, and let's put these effects back on again.
And we will fight at the dawning of the day, and we will pray that tomorrow lights our way, and we may fall and falter through the gates. I see you, and I see true. I see you, and I see true.
Okay, brilliant. Pretty happy with how that sounds. Yeah, thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed that tutorial. The vocals I used in this tutorial were Deirdre McLaughlin's, and they were from her Ethereal Trance vocals, which is out now in the Full Tilt Recording store, and there'll be a link to that in the description in this video. We have more videos to come from vocal tuning and different type of vocal effects, so don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel so you won't miss a thing. And also, if you want to book me for any mastering projects, mixing vocals, or production projects, I'll also have a link in the description for that. And yeah, if you have any suggestions for any other videos you'd like to get a look at, my production techniques, just let us know in the comments. Thanks for listening, guys.